Seizures don't randomly start in your 20s. Let's talk about it. A couple months ago, I was introduced to these two sisters who both randomly had a seizure. One was away at school in a coastal region and had started feeling not well, and then one day had a seizure, a grand mal seizure. The seizure caused a small TIA, which is like a little mini stroke. And then she was released from the hospital and had another stroke that sent her back to the hospital and left her in the ICU for a couple of weeks. She's close to graduating her undergrad and had been accepted to law school. And so, really, like, her future is all mapped out and she's on this path. But this stopped her in her tracks. She then has another seizure and stroke at the home where she's living away at college and ends up basically unconscious for a few weeks. When she gets better, she goes back to the home to pack up her stuff to move out, and her younger sister, younger by a year and a half, comes out to help her pack. Younger sister's there for about a week, suddenly has a seizure. Now, in the hospital, they supposedly tested for mold, and I did look through the lab reports from the ER and from the ICU stay. She was tested for one type of mold. The house that she lived in, not tested at all. But two people having a seizure in the same living environment, we know there's something in the environment going wrong. These clients were introduced to me by way of another practitioner who works with pediatrics, who knows the mom and thought the story was odd, knows what I do, and said, hey, can you help? So we ran what's called a gut zoomer, a neural zoomer, a mold panel, a viral panel, and another test for basically how they're processing fatty acids. All 5 of these tests for each girl ran about $1,000, but we had extensive blood work and other testing on them, or I would not be running it. And to nobody's surprise, both girls, came back positive for 5 different types of mold at insanely high levels, like levels where 3 of them say the level is so high it's reading above the chart index. But there was no mold, supposedly, at the ER. Another interesting thing, both girls came back with super high levels of strep in their stool samples, like through the roof high levels of strep. There's mild incidents of like what some people would call like parasites, and yet, like, yes, they're there, but they're not there in a high enough amount that we're like severely worried about them, because right now, in my opinion, with the mold there, they're probably being protective. So I'm not doing a parasite cleanse because we got to get rid of the mold first. The other reason I wouldn't do a parasite cleanse is because the total tox burden on both girls also came back through the roof high. Like, they are so far down the chart for every single pesticide and every single toxin that you could think of that it wouldn't be safe at this point to kill off all the parasites, because those parasites are probably protecting them from things even worse happening. Epstein-Barr virus also came back positive, and sialylated cytomegalovirus. So the important thing to remember is that while most of us do not need special testing, there are cases where it can significantly benefit you if you have tried everything else and still not gotten the answers that you need. Now, one of the things that this is also going to help us do is have the home where these 2 girls were when the seizures first occurred retested, so that possibly we can take some kind of legal action against the landlord, as he was refusing to test and insisted that it wasn't the property, it was something wrong with the girls specifically. But again, if you have something that looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and occurs in the same environment, it's probably not the people, it's probably the environment. If you want more information on what special tests might be benefiting for you instead of just a waste of your money, or you want somebody who provides testing at the same price that they would get it as the practitioner, you're welcome to reach out. There'll be a button below.